Hello and good afternoon to you wherever you may be and wherever you may have the opportunity to see me on your phone while sitting on your toilet, driving in your car, or on your computer. As always, I want to thank you for inviting me into your presence and into your home. As you can see in my presentations, they're never staged, they're never choreographed. They're in fact very impromptu, very natural. As you can see, I'm very rugged because as I declared at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023 that aluta continua, the struggle continues, the fight continues. And I declared that we are in a state of war, a state of war. And when you are in war, everything cannot be nice. You cannot have nice clothes, you cannot shave, you cannot get a haircut. Everything cannot be in place. And I remember during the time of the Soviet Union, they were showing the difference between the way the Soviets or the Russians operated and the way the United States operated. They were showing the Air Force, and in the Russian Air Force, when the planes landed or they did their practice, they had all sorts of trash all around the airport. All sorts of trash. And what the Russians said is that in war, you see, when the Americans now are doing their war games, everything is nice and clean. The airport, the base, everything. There's no shrapnel, no stuff all over. And the Russians say, well, in war, bombs are gonna drop, things are gonna blow all over the place. So you cannot expect it to be nice and pretty. You have to be able to operate under the pressures of war. And so I am under the pressure of war. But I have something that I wanted to tell you, that each of you, I don't remember if I ever gave the New Year message. I may have recorded it and not published it. At this point, we have so many things going on. We are at war and we have numerous battles. We have battles here, we have battles there, and we have new battles that we have to start and we have to initiate, because this year, as we have promised, as God has promised, as I have promised, is the year that we must settle all family business. All scores have to be settled. And so far this year, we are doing well. We're doing very well. We are moving closer and closer to an ultimate victory and a maximum victory, because the enemy of us, who is the enemy of God and who is the enemy of man, have been overconfident and have been arrogant in the face of God. And God does not like arrogance. Well, I'm still having a little sip. Not like I used to. I'm down to one sip a day. I'm working out. I'm working on those parts that needs to be strengthened. Because in today's world, it's not just young men that fight war, because those young men who fought war in their youth and who survive today, in those societies where they are in the positions of leadership. They are in the positions of leadership wherever there is a country that is deserving to have an army, to have missiles, to have tanks. These people who fought in war are now in leadership, and the new wars that are being fought, actually old men are the ones who are leading it, and it is always the old men. And that's why at my age I've decided to go to war. Now today I wanted to send out a special thank you and to let the world know and let to everybody know, particularly those of you who have subscribed to my channel. I want to send a special thank you and a special appreciation to you. And I feel that I have and we have together accomplished a great feat. Because when I began this operation to put out my opinions, my positions, my propaganda, and I realized that are people going to be interested? Will people watch? I can speak sometimes at length for long period of time in various subjects without having to have notes. And then what I think is a short presentation turns out to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour, maybe even 2 hours. And sometimes people's attention span are not that great. However, I remember when we began, and I had one subscriber, and then two subscribers, and then three subscribers. And I never really bothered about it. I just said, let's just keep doing what we do and what we do best. Let's tell our stories. Let's send our messages to our enemies through the medium of video and through YouTube. Let us utilize these tools that are equalizers in today's age. We're not speaking hate speech. We're not threatening nobody. All we're doing is speaking the spirituality of which we believe in ourselves and using our godly powers to make things happen for us, that we may be able to come to the apex, to the convergence of the unity of purpose and the unity of cause. And so I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed. I would like to encourage you to encourage your friends and other people to subscribe. And one thing I do know is that anyone who subscribes and anyone who watches our videos is not an ordinary person. It's a kind of sophisticated person who has an appreciation for intellectualism, who have an appreciation for vision, and who is not just out here looking for a quick laugh and looking just for entertainment. Because I'm not here for entertainment. Though I may seem entertaining to you, I'm not here for entertainment. I'm not here to be a jester. I'm not here to be a dancer, a joke maker. I am here on serious business. And that business I told you I was here on before is a luta continua. The struggle continues. I have spoken to you all about the avenging army of Francois Macandal, and I have asked you to go and see who Francois Macandal is. And that's why we style ourselves after the Macandalists. La Macandaliste, et puis nous dit, nous ni pour doubout, et puis nous pour goumen, pour faire ces bails ça, nous ni pour faire vini en la vie nous, en temps nous qu'à vivre assis la terre. Comme ça, c'est commission ça, moi qu'à venir, moi qu'à battre tout le monde. Moi qu'à dire, la lucha continua, viva Macandal, la mouvement de la Macandal, pour mener tout le monde ensemble, ça y est, ça venu pour une liberté, égalité, et puis economic prosperity, c'est la monde de la Haïti qui est allé hors misère et pauvreté avec dignity. So we want the people of Haiti to go from misery to poverty with dignity. We want our peoples in our region to realize that they are not little island nation states. It's an artificial creation of the British. And the British are the most cunning amongst the colonialists. The British, the French, the Spanish, and the Portuguese. These are the people whom used us as a commodity. But there was nothing really wrong with that, because truly and honestly, I believe that slavery was a price worth paying. Slavery was a price worth paying. And I want to thank our ancestors for paying that price. And look at the inheritance that we receive. And now we're told that some people want to sell our inheritance. And they have sold our inheritance. And you see, that's where the situation becomes complex. And that's where the Macandalists have to ask themselves, do they want to get entangled in these discussions? For example, somebody came to us and they said that the leader of the island of Dominica had taken the money and was pushing some cryptocurrency schemes and scams, and it is believed that they have lost billions of dollars trying to get involved in something they did not understand. And then someone else came to tell me this is why the Prime Minister, who was the Minister of Finance, gave up that portfolio and gave it to Dr. McIntyre. Well, I've not had the opportunity to speak with either of them. But it seemed to me that if the Prime Minister, who following in the footsteps of Dame Eugenia Charles, these kind of people want to control everything. And the truth is, if you don't know where the money is, you don't have no power. And you always got to know where your money is and be conscious of your money and count your own money. Nobody should count your money for you. Now, these little petty people in these small ponds who want to be big shots in a small pond and whom have no real education in terms of what is required to lead a people and to create a nation. They don't. And it is quite apparent if someone of my generation looks back at what has transpired during that time, from LeBlanc to Patrick John to Eugenia Charles to the guy from Marigot, whatever his name was, and then back to the Labour Party, which joined forces with the bourgeoisie of Roseau, the Freedom Party, and the opportunist Charles Savarin, who, excuse me, always knew how to make himself relevant to have a job. Charles Savarin is in fact a traitor. He used us to overthrow Patrick John in 1979. I was there. I participated and spoke at rallies in the Goodwill Savannah. Now I want you to know that my generation have abdicated our responsibilities and left it to the ignorant to come and take charge and to say that they are leaders when all they're concerned about is how many women they can have sex with, how much money they can have, and how many couches and houses they can have. That's not what true revolutionary leaders do. Materialism has to be the last of your concern. And that for that reason the Macandalist movement is making preparations. We don't know which direction yet we're going to go. But one thing we want you to know is that there has to be some truth to this. Because for this man to give up the Ministry of Finance and to hand it over to Dr. McIntyre, something has happened. He is looking for what we call possible deniability in the United States of America. You see, when you're getting ready to be charged for crime, you have to have possible deniability. And I always said, because when I send a message to the dear leader before, I said, dear leader, do you really want to be the one signing off on all the checks? Do you really want to be the one responsible for the young women getting their pads and the tampons every month? And you just recently said it in a speech. You said the women have to take care of their business every month. And I was so shocked. I said, God damn it, I said those things about the dear leader. And now he comes out and say he even have to help people to buy tampons and pads for their period. And I don't want to be that kind of leader. I don't want to be that, to have that level of responsibility. I am a spiritual guide, a moral guide to the movement, to the nation, and to the peoples of the world. I do not hold any position in government, nor do I aspire to hold any position in government. But government has to be responsive and to be clear in that it needs to answer to the Macandalists and to the rest of the populace. And if the Macandalists is of the perception that something wrong has occurred or something wrong is going on, then naturally we are going to speak about it. And when we speak about it, people are going to realize that what we are in fact saying is the truth. So on today, I want to sum up and finish because I have work to do. The idea that the Prime Minister gave up the Ministry of Finance, the idea that he's talking about running out of money, he keeps sending people on scholarships to go study theology, international this and hotel management. And they come here to the United States of America, and guess what? None of them want to go back. They don't want to go back. And I say to them, who told you that when you finish studying, the United States of America has an obligation to absorb you? Take your ass back. You said you were coming here to study, to go back and develop your country. Your country. So if your leader decide the only job you're going to have is in a hotel, then go back and do your hotel job. Don't try to stay here in my country, the United States of America, and then you're saying I co-power. Oh, he get his now, he don't want nobody to come. No, that's not true. I am all for immigration. I am all for all of us, and each for all and all for none, to come together and to meet in the United States, because the United States of America is really our country. We have a right to it. I've always, since I was a child, I knew I was going to be in the United States of America. When I read the books and I read the stories, I said, if there's any place I have to be, Carnegie and those guys, I say, I have to be in the United States of America by hook or by crook. And I did it. And then I set my anchor. You see, you all have anchor babies. You all have anchor babies, but I don't have anchor babies. I have roots deep, deep, deep in the soil of the United States of America. I have one generation, I have two generations, and soon I will have three generations of my progeny that will be here, grounded in the greatest experiment of Western colonialism and the evolution of the African peoples to realize and to go through a period of renaissance, to once again become a great people of the world. And that people of the world, and they see you, and they see that you're an African, they won't despise you, but they will fear you. They will come to fear you the way they fear Jesus, and the way they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the way they fear God and Jehovah and all the other pretentious religions that they speak of in this life, and the hypocrites who speak of God and of righteousness and of brotherhood, but they do something completely different. So what I say to you today, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for finding interest, and even if it's entertainment, it's okay. It's all good. God is always with you. I am always with you. Whenever you get yourself in a situation, just think about your Pope, Pope Peter Emmanuel I. What would Peter do? Not what would Jesus do, not what would Allah do, but what would Peter do? And I will deliver you from whatever your problems are. I bless you always. And I ask you to remain with your open mind and to stay steadfast to the word of the leader, Pope Peter Emmanuel I, the self-appointed leader of the tribe of Ham, the one who is coming to liberate us and to create a condition under which we can be a true nation and we can show power in the world, and members of the world who despise us today will one day come to fear us, wherever we may be. Because all over the world, the Negro peoples are despised. What did they do? They got a great, great continent with all of the minerals of the world. And yet, they are despised. The Negro of the world. We have to pray for the Negro race. We have to break the curse of the Negro race. We have to break the curse of the light-skinned race. We have to break the curse of the mulatto race. And we have to become united as one in the cause of our people and to restore our dignity amongst humanity. We don't have no dignity. We don't have no dignity. You see, when I carry myself in this society, I'm so dignified that people look at me and they get out of the way. When I go somewhere, my son says to me, he says, Dad, you don't have shit. How is it you walk in here and you act like you own the place? How is it these people all cater to you and you don't have nothing? And I say, son, it's the presence of my godliness and the way that I carry myself that endears people to show me this level of dignity, whether it be the police, whether it be a cashier, whether it be a janitor, whether it be a beautiful woman that I've just met. And for that, I've come to realize this power of God, which this year we are going to use to settle all family business. All scores will be settled. And we started this year on a war footing, and this war is going to be waged battle by battle and victory by victory. God bless you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for subscribing, and I promise you, I will not bore you. Never will you be bored. I have a whole lot of I have materials dating for years. I just can't get to it, but I got materials for you. I got all kinds of videos. I just got to get to the time where I can go search for them on which drive they are and put them out. And most of all, we have the fire worship series where we talk to God and we talk to the ancestors and we make sacrifices and we ask for help. We ask for help in getting jobs. We ask for help in getting promotions. We ask for protection of our children, protection of our grandchildren, and protection of our mother, that she'll be here with us and she'll be able to take care of herself for a very long time. And in all those things, and as we come on the 10th year of the anniversary of the martyrdom of Mimi Godin, my wife, that was killed in 2013 by Mark David Kroc, we have to enter into a new level of struggle because Kroc has not paid the blood money. And the blood money is at a certain amount now, and somebody has to send him a collection letter that says, "Dear Dr. Kroc, this is Peter Lander. You killed my wife. You owe me $5 million. It's time for us to settle." This is the year that we do all these things, and this is the year that we have the manifest victory, because Mimi promised us. She told me, because she was scared. She feared me. She knew my powers, and she asked me, she said, "Peter, do not think about me, because when you think about people, things happen." Well, unfortunately, I did think about her that week. I did think about her, and look how it ended. But she died in my arms, and I brought her back to life. When I took her to the hospital, they killed her. And they lied to me. And 10 years now, I'm strong. I've regrouped. I've rearmed. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get the blood money from Mark David Kroc for killing my wife. And I don't make no reservations about it. I tell everybody, say, "Oh, you're still fighting over your wife? Well, fuck, that's how long you're going to remember me? That's how long you're going to fight? If something happens to me? If somebody just stomped me? If somebody just is that what's the term they call it? There's a movie where they just kill people. It's not stomp, it's, I don't know right now, but next time I know, I'll tell you. And they even have a movie about it. They have a term for it. They have a term for it. Some people get off sexually just watching people being killed or died, and that's what that movie conveyed. I wish I knew the word. It's a very, very interesting term. However, as I do not know it, I will try to end now, because I do need to get back to work. And left to me, I'd be here talking to you guys all night, but I don't want to bore you. That's the last thing I want to do. So I'll save what else I got to say for the next video. And in the meantime, what we're celebrating today is the fact that we have 200 subscribers. How do you get to 1 million subscribers? How do you? One subscriber at a time. And when we started, like I said, we had 1, then 2, then 3, and today we have 200. And it's an opportunity and an occasion to celebrate and to say thank you to all the subscribers, and to promise you that I'm going to work more diligently to get you the materials that you need. I have all kind of materials, okay? Again, I bless you. My peace I give unto you. I'm a very peaceful person, very caring person, very amenable person, But yes, when you do me wrong, we're going to talk about what you have done. And all we're going to do is talk. There's no violence, there's no physical attacks, just a verbal confrontation. And if you cannot handle the words, how are you going to handle physical violence? Okay, so all we have is words, or words are all we have, or videos are all we have. And if that's too much for you, then you need to get out of the kitchen. Anyway, like I told you, the guy gave the other guy the portfolio, and I think he's looking for possible deniability. You go look up what possible deniability is, and you'll understand where we're going with this series. And I'll see you soon. And again, I bless you as always. I bless you as your Pope. I bless you as your leader. And I bless you in the name of Francois Macandal, our founding leader, upon whose shoulders we stand today, and we hope to show a defeat one day to the British and to the French again, and to all of the European colonialists whom have taken advantage of our people, of our lands, and of our resources, and then to protect our peoples from the hegemonic Chinese agenda, which is no different from European colonialism. I believe that as a people, we should be able, in this age and time, particularly with the Negroes in North America, and with the economics of scale, be able to translate some of these economics into something tangible for ourselves and for our people and for development. And our people should not have to look to sell their sovereignty and give the natural resources again to China. I don't believe in substituting one colonialist for another. This will speak on the separate cover and at a different time. And I will explain to you the position of the Macandalists on this issue. As always, I bless you, because I'm the only one who can bless you. There's no God from heaven. There's no Jesus. Your blessings comes from another person just like you. And I hope you'll bless me and you'll get some more subscribers. We'll break the 200 point, and from there we'll go up. And if you want crazy stuff, I can give it to you. But you know, I'm a very serious person, and the issues I have to deal with, and being at war is a serious issue. And that's why you see I support law and order, New York City Police, because I believe in law and order, and I believe in principles, I believe in ethics, I believe in the fiduciary responsibilities that people have to one another, and I believe if the treasury is empty, then somebody has to be brought to account. Again, once again, don't go and say I said this or I said that, because you can see what I said and what I didn't say. Anyway, as always, let me leave while we still have time.